What started as one Toronto woman covering events she couldn't personally attend has grown into a 9,000-strong roster of brand ambassadors and event staff operating across Canada and the United States. Jennifer Hing did not set out to build a staffing company. She was a university student in Toronto, working part-time for a mystery shopping staffing agency, when the requests from her freelance promotional agencies started to outpace her availability. Rather than turn clients away, she began placing other people who could meet the same standard she had set. That instinct, repeated enough times, became G of G Inc. Founded in January 2009 in Toronto, Ontario, the company today represents more than 9,000 independent contractors and brand ambassadors across North America. G of G Inc. maintains offices in Toronto, New York, and San Diego, and works across industries that include beauty, health and wellness, automotive, financial services, and technology. Its services range from single in-store product demonstrations to cross-country brand tours. The growth was not driven by investment rounds or acquisitions. Instead, it evolved through word of mouth, strong client demand, and a consistent commitment to quality. Hing, who earned dual degrees from the University of Toronto while working professionally in modeling, developed a deep understanding of personal presentation and professional reliability well before launching the business. Early in her career, she gained exposure to modeling and acting agencies, which further refined her insight into how individuals are perceived in public-facing roles. What separates G of G Inc. from generalist staffing firms is the specificity of what the company recruits for. Brand ambassadors are not simply bodies filling a shift. They are trained, vetted individuals who serve as the public face of a campaign, often interacting directly with consumers at high-traffic events, campus tours, and brand activations. When the company screens candidates, it looks for people who are outgoing, reliable, and comfortable engaging with strangers in unpredictable settings. Previous experience in sales, retail, teaching, or performance arts translates well, because those roles build the same muscles the work demands: clear communication, composure under pressure, and the ability to read a room. The company also takes brand alignment seriously on the client side. G of G Inc. actively seeks partnerships with organizations whose values match its own, with a particular focus on companies that demonstrate genuine commitment to environmental sustainability, LGBTQ+ inclusion, women's rights, and the support of underrepresented communities. That selectivity is not incidental. It shapes which campaigns the company's ambassadors feel invested in representing. G of G Inc. operates on an independent contractor model, which means the thousands of brand ambassadors in its network are not salaried employees. They choose which events to accept, set their own schedules, and take on as much or as little work as suits them. For students and early career professionals, this has made the company a practical entry point into experiential marketing and event production. Many of the people who apply are studying marketing, communications, sales, or event management and want hands-on work that complements their coursework. Because G of G Inc. staffs campus tours and nationwide activations, it can place people in smaller markets and college towns, not just major cities. Someone at a university in a mid-sized city can work local events and build a professional track record without relocating. The company has also seen the model play out at the other end of a career. People who come to G of G Inc. later in life, looking to move away from desk-based work towards something more social and interactive, find that brand ambassador roles offer that shift without requiring them to start over entirely. The flexibility that attracts students also works for someone who wants meaningful part-time engagement on weekends or evenings. One of the more telling indicators of how the company's culture functions is what happens to contractors after they move on. G of G Inc. has watched numerous former brand ambassadors advance into full-time roles on the client or agency side of the industry, then bring the company in as their preferred staffing partner. One example that has become representative of this pattern: a brand ambassador who worked occasional events with G of G Inc. made a strong enough impression on a client during a single activation that he was later offered a full-time position as a production coordinator. He now manages programs that hire G of G Inc. to staff them. The relationship did not end when he stopped working as a contractor. It evolved. This kind of outcome is not coincidental. It reflects the company's stated philosophy that every event, no matter the scale, is an opportunity for a contractor to build their professional reputation. G of G Inc. communicates that clearly, and it creates a culture where people perform not just to complete a shift but to be noticed doing it well. Megan Rogers, who now works as part of the company's Toronto corporate staff, joined G&G Inc. in 2012 as a brand ambassador while completing degrees in business administration and marketing at Brock University. She transitioned into a full-time role after graduating and has been with the company since. Her path matters to how the company operates. Having worked in the field before moving to the corporate side, Rogers understands the logistical and interpersonal realities of on-site activations in ways that purely office-based experience would not provide. That knowledge shapes how the team prepares contractors, anticipates problems, and manages client expectations. It is also a microcosm of the G&G Inc. story more broadly. The company has grown by taking people seriously at every stage, whether they are working their first event or managing a cross-country campaign. Hing built the roster from a referral list. Rogers grew up through the ranks. The structure reflects how the business was assembled, one relationship at a time. After 17 years in operation, G&G Inc. is not a company still figuring out what it does. It knows its model, its market, and the kind of people it wants representing the brands it works with. The question it is now focused on is reach, and that particular problem, in a continent with no shortage of brands that need effective human representation, does not look likely to slow the company down.